and of course she will want to help her team get one pass Bayelsa Queens finally today, where it counts the most, if you ask me.
Well, a deep cross into the area this time from Shukrat Moshood. But we'll go straight into the arms of Adeline Mbichi, who is the goalkeeper today for Rivers Angels. The assistant referee must have seen something, which of course she has called. It is Messi Omokwo, who is on the turf right now and is currently being attended to by the medics. She looked like she already has a knee strapped really thick. That might have been the reason. We're looking at that again in replays. She hit the ball, nothing. She didn't collide with nobody, but I think with how she crossed the ball to Moshood, her knee must have felt something.
Yeah, felt something, but she looks to be okay. And of course, that would be Coach Obonda White heaving a sigh of relief, because you're not expecting to make any would cause a very huge change to your plans or your tactical plans, and of course the morale of the girls, because when you're taking off one of your solid players in the first 20 minutes of the game, that would actually maybe psychologically affect the rest of her teammates. But she's okay, and plays continues right here in Ikene.
Well, if you were just joining us, like we said, this is the Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership Super 6, where the winner for the season will be determined. It's a league format where everybody gets to meet everybody, not like we saw in the regular season. And these teams, like I said before, they've got the quality, they've got the presence. It's pride match here as well. But it's a strike this time to go straight into the arms of Omonle Omuni, the goalkeeper for Bayelsa. Easy peasy, that is. She would now get the ball out for Omokwo, who is keeping the pace. But then Adeline Mbichi will come out to collect. Two sides who have history in this very tournament and very competition.
Talking about history, Rivers Angels, I mentioned her looking for, but before then, I think they have an opportunity to go in front.
Yes, talking about the opportunity, it is, of course, Azizatu is there, but this time she sent the ball in. Mary Moses, who is searching for her 11th goal of the tournament, or rather the season. She has about 2 hat-tricks in the regular season. She scored one against her previous team in Adamawa Queens in the regular when they visited Port Harcourt. But here she is trying to ensure that she also can be in it. Abby Battis, really, really intense when it comes to the flanks. I think that there is somebody Rivers who missed today, Rivers Angels who missed today, and it is Peace F. Young, because we do know her quite well. She's also playing for the national team, the Flamingos. She's got the quality as well. But before we get there, Bayelsa are on the front foot. This time it is Moshood Shakirat, but this time a left-footed strike isn't nothing to trouble, of course, Adeline Mbichi, who would now get the goal kick right in. But that was a wasted chance, if you ask me.
Wasted chance, and from the way she's leaping, looks as if she took a little bit of maybe a hit there. But I mean, she's okay, and I'm seeing her looking at the bench, and of course trying to get instructions from Coach White, who I'm sure will be disappointed with that particular shot. But I mean, it's just the starting 20 minutes into this game, less than 20 minutes, and we're expected to see more of those shots from her. She's someone who is daring with the ball, and you expect to see such strikes from her. And maybe we get to see one of them go in as one of the goals for them. But I mean, with an offside decision, I was talking about the fact that Rivers Angels would look at the fact that they've had history in Ogun State. Remember that the last time they won an NWFL title, the 7th, they won it in Ijebu-Ode, and now they're back to Ogun State in Ikene, and hoping that maybe this is the familiar ground, this is their lucky ground, this is their the ground where they would repeat history, of course, by winning an NWFL title, and this time around not in Ijebu-Ode but in Ikene Remo State. And Rivers Angels definitely want to to look out for. You mentioned the fact that Peace Effiong will be one that will be missed, yes, due to injury, but we know that this is one of those players that when she's called upon, in the few games that she played, she had 4 goals, and you can imagine how deadly a threat that kind of player would be when they are playing such a regional rival.
Well, Abibat Abaji was hit off. She was with the ball, but the referee saw nothing to that tackle, as Bayelsa will try again and attack to see if they can get the first goal of the encounter. Well, Bayelsa Queens are on their navy blue with a touch of yellow as their number, and also yellow socks as well, navy blue shorts as well. And for Rivers, it's a blue and white shirt as well as the shorts, and the socks as well is white, so the 2 sides are playing. This time it is, of course, Shukuratu will ensure that she gets the ball, sent it across to Ambles Obonaya, who would bring down the Titilayo Aweda, who I think was fantastic in the regular season. But then Obonaya brings that down, and the referee says, well, that is just too harsh, and wouldn't let play continue, but rather a free kick for Rivers Angels.
Well, talking about from all we've seen, and of course from the intent we've seen so far, surprisingly, it's been only Rivers Angels who have gotten a shot on target. So that particular shot on target there, that was stopped right there by Omoni, the goalkeeper of the side, and that is something that Coach Ogbonna would be looking to, or Bonda, I beg your pardon, will be looking to correct, because I mean, while you get more of the ball, more of chances to go forward, you should be getting your shots at least on target, and that will maybe inspire you to get the first goal. But while we're on this, the team who looks to be more clinical, Rivers Angels, maybe somehow got the ball in possession, and Bayelsa Queens will be chasing for the ball once again.
But Taiwo has the ball and has sent it across. Taiwo again will collect, but she's been brought down by Shakirat Mushud, who has a few words to say to the referee. Taiwo Afolabi joins Rivers earlier this season from Delta Queens, and she has been fantastic so far. But Bayelsa are rock solid from the back to the midfield and on the attack as well. Maybe a little concerns for the striker in Messi Omokwo, because we do know her quality, but here they go again, this time starting with Blessing Abiola, who will try to push the attack, but then it's going to be a throw-in for the Bayelsa Green side. Prosperity Girls have been really, really good defensively. They considered the least goals in the regular seasons, and here they want to continue. On our screens we have Alexander Florence, who I talked about, the solid rock in the defense for the Prosperity Girls. And here comes the throw-in. Rivers will head out straight into the arms of Zainab. Zainab will get past, trying to send the ball through to Shakirat Mushud, and a left-footed strike once again isn't accurate, went wide. That, I think, will not be pleasing to Coach White Awuda.
Definitely, seeing that we know she can do better when it concerns getting the ball with those shots at least on target, and testing the goalkeeper right there in person of Mbechi of Rivers United, who has not been, like I said, they've gotten more of the chances to go forward by Bayelsa Queens, but not gotten any shots on targets in 20 minutes, over 20 minutes played, and that is worrisome for a team looking to get maximum points today, because I'm sure that they're here for maximum points in this first game.
Mercy Omoko with the ball now in the 18-yard area for Bayelsa Queens. She will send across, but this time it's Florence, rather Pauline Sifoma, who would clear that one. But once again, Bayelsa will collect through Mary Ademary. This time it's not just through, as a true pass just went straight into the arms of Adeline Mbechi. But then the referee says that is offside, and they will restart again. Yeah, obviously offside. Obviously offside. That is not the right way to start this, but they will continue to press, which has been what Bayelsa had done the entire time. Well, look, on our screens, we are seeing Natural Amazons watching them, because you have to watch them. You're playing them as well.
You're going to play them as well, of course. You have to. I mean, seeing that some of these teams are some of the teams that you would be fighting for the title with. I mean, you've gotten 3 points. That is a very good way to start your journey in the Super 6. So yes, you understand why they would want to wait and watch other opponents, especially because the second game of the day is immediately after theirs, before we have a break, before we have the final clash of the day by 4 p.m. So yes, you understand why they will be in the stadium. So understudy both sides in this competition. So yes, one very, very solid shift from Natural Amazons to come back in their own game and of course win by 2-1. And right now they are 3 points topping the log, pending whatever happens in this game, because
Absolutely.
right now if this goes on to be the final score, both teams will end up with a point. So yes, Natural Amazons, solid shift, solid babes.
You can say that. They are already. That's the
Yeah, solid babes. And of course, solid outlook into the second game.
Absolutely. Well, this is Abibat Agbaji, who has the ball now, but has been dispossessed by the rock-solid Bayelsa defense. A throw-in for Rivers. They have the ball now. Rivers in the Bayelsa 18-yard box. Still around there. Oh, that was pretty bad clashes of the feet. And the referee would call that and say it's a free kick for Bayelsa. The player is struggling down there. We're looking at that clash again, and it was, of course, Ambles Abunaya who raised their foot too high and have gotten the feet of Rivers player who is struggling with the pain. But a free kick so far for Rivers. Can they capitalize on this?
A free kick, one they can capitalize on. Like I mentioned, they look to be the side who is more clinical in front of goal. The side who has gotten the only shot on target so far, despite running more against the run of play, when you ask me, because Bayelsa Queens have been more with the ball, and you can see that some of the players who are very good at set pieces, likes of Taiwa Folabi, we've seen some of her set pieces goal at the World Cup at the under-17 level. You've seen some of those goals.
Yeah. Talking about set pieces.
Yeah.
Ifeoma Paulinus is quite good with
Very good with set pieces.
And she's about to, well, we have 3 of them, but it says Ifeoma Ikena-Kwalo who would take that. I would have think that should have left that for Paulinus to Ifeoma to have taken it, because we have seen how good she was in the regular season with those set pieces.
Some of those goals for Rivers Angels at very crucial moments, because Rivers Angels, while we talked about Bayelsa Queens being really solid defensively, not conceding a lot of goals, you can't say the same for Rivers Angels, because they've had to fight their way into winning many of their games last season. So while some of those games they've had to come back to win in the regular season, saw one of them against Aqua Ibom Angels, and of course in other games also. And in one of those games, including that against Aqua Ibom Angels, you could see that Ifeoma got a free kick goal that eventually led to a 2-1 win for them in Port Harcourt.
There was one from a corner as well.
There was one from a corner to a straight one. So they're all set piece takers. So that's why it have been the decision of the 3 of them to allow her take that particular one, and hopefully they get to see more, and this time around hopefully they get to capitalize on that particular chance. But I mean, it's going to be a very, very difficult call for them, seeing that we are playing against a team who is unbeaten this season, coming from an invisible regular season, really solid. I mean, for you to be invisible, it means you've done your homework defensive wise. And of course, if they can not score goals, they would look to ensure that they don't concede as well. Talking about the Prosperity Girls.
Well, that is the case here. Like we already know, they are a team who has gone unbeaten the entire season, and they are looking to continue in that stead here in Ikene as they take on major rivals in Rivers Angels, who I would say I've lost to them once this season, in the second half of the season, and I think it was like a second to the penultimate game of the regular season, where they went to Yenagoa and they got defeated 1-0. Bayelsa Shukurat Mushud will get the ball, send it to the flanks this time, finding Ambles Bunaya, or rather you say Precious Oscar. Precious Oscar now will try to get past send the ball to Zainab Olokwade through on to Ambles Bonaya. But then they've turned the ball over to Rivers. Now the ball is with Taiwo Afolabi for Rivers. Sends across deep into the area, trying to find Mary Moses, who, like we said, have got ourselves 10 goals. And we'll be looking to today equal Kekeromowe, Janet of Nasarawa Amazons. Right now, Sandra John will turn over the ball to Bayelsa. Bayelsa will not attack. But then once again, it's turnovers after turnovers after turnovers for the two sides. They can't seem to keep the ball as long as possible.
Not seeming to keep the ball might be why we are still without a goal in this game. But if there's any team that I think would eventually try to keep the ball, I think it is going to be the Prosperity Girls, seeing that they've had more of possession, maybe not been able to communicate better in the last 10 minutes, have caused the game to be all tackles, all fouls, and of course calls from the referee. But waiting to see the two teams play good football, because I mean we enjoyed really beautiful football in the first game. This game I've seen both teams unable to settle into their rhythm, as we know them to both play some of the finest football in the NWFL. And looking at the Prosperity Girls, I'm expecting goals from anywhere, seeing that they're a team that have spread their goals across several girls in the team, the likes of jersey number 18, talking about Alaba Olabi, who is the top goal scorer for that team with 5 goals. We also have the likes of Delight.
Mercy Mokwa now is with the ball in the 18-yard area. She will get the ball now to Precious Oscar, who hits it really too deep and sent it out wide. This team, like you said, they've got the quality and they've got goal scorers. They don't exactly have one person. They lost Mary Ann Jot to Edo Queens. Probably that's why they are spreading across the goals. And
it's working so far. It has worked so far for them. Say in the regular season, they went on to win with really, really good margins whenever they face teams who actually surrender their defense to them. And like I mentioned, they've had their goals spread across with the likes of Alaba Olabi, who is a top goal scorer with 5 goals. We've had people like Isaac Delight with 4 goals. We've also seen Shukurat, who is not a regular in the team due to her commitment with the national team, also getting on the goal sheet. And of course, we're expecting that maybe she might also get one today in Ikene, seeing that she has actually gotten some shots off target though, but she's also trying that. And that shows you that Coach Ogbonda has made sure that this team are built as a team and not around an individual.
Absolutely.
Unlike other teams that we've seen, especially a team like Nasarawa Amazons, who have all their goals mostly coming from, or most of their goals coming from a player like Janet. And of course Rivers Angels, who they are playing today, having most of their goals come from Mary Moses.
Absolutely. Mary Moses is currently the highest goal scorer for Rivers. There seemed to be a plan to how Tosan Blankston have lined up his Rivers team, as they seem to play high line and sets the offside trap for Bayelsa's attackers to prey into, which they have done several times now.
A good plan, if you ask me, one that has worked so far.
Reminds you of Barcelona, don't you think?
Definitely, but like Barcelona, once a team figures out how to beat that offside trap, you're in trouble. So I'm sure that it definitely has other things off his sleeves, because you're not going to rely on them being offside forever. At some point, you can't expect a player like Shukurat to be offside, because she's mostly taking her shots way outside the box. And once that goes in, no one looks at the offside, no one is even going to look at her being offside from the places where she has been attempting her shots outside the box today.
Well, ball still with Bayelsa. This time with Precious Oscar, who hits a deep one into the half of Rivers, but then they will turn over the ball and Rivers will try to attack, but somehow Abibat Abaji would let the ball out for a throw-in. Bayelsa now. Bayelsa would take that. Alexander Florence to send the ball into the midfield. But then, because these two sides know each other so well, they can't seem to let Bayelsa onto the ball for that long, especially Rivers, because they know that they are good on the ball, on and off it. So they have to put markers and bodies into the air whenever Bayelsa have the ball.
Definitely. I mean, for a team that's you've played this season, and of course you've not gotten a win over, and you know how dangerous they can be when you allow them play the ball on the ground. And of course that is most likely the instruction from the coach to ensure that they do not have as much possession of the ball, or try to like rattle them whenever they have the ball, to make them make mistakes, and of course not make informed decisions in front of goal.
Bayelsa now will go. It is Stibas, a shot into the area, and of course it is Zainab Olapade, or rather Olabi, of course the number 18 shirt for Bayelsa, will give the Prosperity Girls the opener, the lead goal here. They have done this before, and it looks like they are about to do it again. But we have plenty of time to decide if Bayelsa will be leading this one. In the regular season, they scored first and they locked shop the entire time. It is a great goal, you must say, from the number 18, Alaba Olabi. Beautiful strike that was, the right-footed strike it was. And that will be the first goal of the encounter. 1-0 Bayelsa against Rivers.
Definitely why we were talking about the fact that Rivers Angels will have to ensure that they curtail these girls from getting the ball on their foot. And we've seen that at the very first shot on target for Bayelsa Queens, they have gotten the very first goal. And the goal scorer, Alaba, we mentioned she's the top goal scorer for Bayelsa Queens with 5 goals, now 6 goals, still the top goal scorer obviously, has gotten us up and running in this game.
It is currently 1-0 in favor of Bayelsa over Rivers Angels. Beautiful goal from Alaba Olabi. Beautiful strike it was, and got past Adeline Ingbechi, who can't seem to keep the ball in. She can't seem to gather that, but then the defenders were nowhere to be found. You talked about knowing how to get past the offside trap, and that they did, courtesy of a beautiful strike from Alaba.
A beautiful strike, and like I said, you have to have other things off your sleeves, because once a team gets to figure out your game plan or your tactical plan, and they are a team good enough to be able to work out that plan and have the players that can actually do something way better than what you've planned, they will definitely get the goals and of course be on the way to winning, which Bayelsa United have done so far, and they're currently leading in this game. And you can see that Coach Obonda has finally figured out a way to actually crack the defense of this team. Talking about
Shikara Mashud has the ball. Still Zainab now, a strike this time, not having the power to back it up. Straight into the arms of Adeline Ingbechi Olapade this time. Zainab Olapade with that beautiful strike, but then it lacked the power, the precision. Straight into Adeline Ingbechi, who would keep things rather respectful for Rivers, who I think should be looking to find themselves into the game. It's already 37 minutes on the clock, and it is important that they also get that leveler to give them a certain control of the game. Don't you think so?
Yes, definitely. We saw that in the first game with an early goal for Nigeria Tails, and of course Natural Amazons, for them to be able to fight their way to getting maximum points, which I'm sure Rivers Angels will be looking to do also. They will try to get a goal in this half and ensure that they keep things respectful, like you say, and of course maybe try to overturn the deficit when they return for the second 45, because we are way close to the end of this first 45, and that would be the job of the players that Coach Blackson have summoned for this game to decide in that particular one.
There seems to be a major concern now for Mercy Omokwo, because she's limping here and there and she hasn't been her best after she's been shut up by Rivers. Now have the ball. It is Mary has the ball, but a strike it came off the lower part of the crossbar. We talked about Mary knowing how to get the goals, and not the best of strikes, but then she got past Omonle Omoni, but then didn't go back into the net. But Rivers still has the ball in the area. Mary Moses there came off, but then the goalkeeper for Bayelsa, Omonle Omoni, got the ball. Tempers are flaring. This two sound like we said.
Of course, it's been tension flying emotions flying from the very first minutes of the game, and this is why it's a derby. It's a derby, a South derby, and of course, with the results right now, you can expect more and more of these tempers. Because I mean, with Rivers Angels trailing in this game, they'll be looking to actually get something in this first half, and anything that would hinder them or anything they feel like will work against them would definitely cause frustration on the side of Rivers Angels. Well, someone is down on the pitch talking about the goalkeeper of Bayelsa Queens, talking about Omoni Mole, who is on the floor and receiving medical attention from the medics, and she was the one in that heated conversation with the one with that confrontation with Mary Moses. And we're seeing that particular last chance there that was hit beautifully by Mary Moses, but unfortunately would be welcomed by the crossbar, and that would give the Bayelsa Queens ladies a little bit of respite in that particular one, and they can still maintain their lead in the next couple of minutes, or for those couple of minutes that have been played. But as play continues, they'll be hoping they don't surrender that lead.
Well, the fans are starting to troop in gradually. Early days, you would say.
Early days, a weekend.
Exactly. Well, here as well tomorrow, Remo Stars will be lifting the trophy.
Definitely.
There's a party here tomorrow.
It's a party in Ikene tomorrow. So yes, you're watching this broadcast. This is us inviting you on behalf of the Remo Stars football team, who are going to be crowned champions tomorrow for the very first time in their history, right here in front of their home fans. And that will be Matchday 37 between Remo Stars, the South-South derby. Talking about derbies, it's going to be a South-South derby, South-West derby, I beg your pardon, between themselves and Ikorodu City. The first game, if you watch the first game in Lagos, it was one for the books, and I'm sure we have another one tomorrow.
Is Bayelsa again, but not precise. The ball now has gone out for a goal kick. Goal scorer who couldn't keep the ball this time, Alaba Olabi.
Well, when you look at Alaba Olabi, she looks to be not someone that on a regular day you consider somebody that would be maybe top goal scorer for a team like Bayelsa Queens, seeing that most of her teammates are way well built in terms of physique. But I mean, small body, big engine, we like to say in this part of the world. And I mean, lanky, very small, but a fighter and with a very good sense of goal, and that's why she has the highest number of goals for the Prosperity Girls. She's prospering. She doesn't have to be big, but she's prospering.
Absolutely.
6 goals so far. And yes, it might be a tall order for her to meet the likes of
Zainab will send the ball now through to the goal scorer Olabi. He will get the ball off Rivers' defense. This time it is a team that would ensure that they Patience Otobo, or rather Joy Michael, who would hit that ball out for a corner kick for Bayelsa. Olabi, a turn on the flesh of the defense for Rivers. Corner about to be taken by either Blessing Abiola, captain, or Zainab Olapade, who was standing there to see if they are going to play that one in. The captain, Blessing Abiola, would take that one. Bayelsa Queens lead the game by a goal to 0. I think the referee is having a thing or two to say to the captain of Bayelsa, who is gearing up to take it. She does it so well, delivers the ball into the area. But Messi Omokwo's header just wasn't good enough. But then play still with Bayelsa. Maybe not anymore, as Adeline Imbechi will come out to collect the ball safely into our blossom. And play will resume again.
Yeah, play resumes, and like we mentioned, this is the second game of match day 1 for the NWFL Super 6 happening here at the Remo Star Stadium, as you can see on your screen, at the electric panel. Remo Star Stadium in Ikene is home to the NWFL Super 6 for the 2024-2025 season, and the first game has seen Nassau Amazons win 2-1 against Nigeria Tails, a comeback win for them in that one. And this one has seen the very first goal of the game already, a goal by Alaba Olabi in the 34th minute of proceedings. And we are in the final minutes of the first half. and hoping to see another goal, because I mean goals are a commentator's delight, if you ask me.
2 minutes and some seconds to see us past the first 45, with Bayelsa leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of a 35th minute goal from Alaba or Labi. Right about now, it is going to be a free kick for Rivers, as the linesman, or lineswoman you say, the assistant referee, she has flagged in a throw-in for Rivers. Abibat Awaji would hit that one out again. Still a throw-in for Rivers. Abiola Blessing heads that one out, and Florence Alexander will take that out again. Ball on the air. Olakwade sends that one out. And this time it is Precious Oscar. It is Joy Michael who clears. Joy Michael clears it now to Precious Oscar. Precious Oscar to Shakirat Moshud. And Moshud will relinquish the ball back to Rivers. It's been, like I said before, turnovers after turnovers on the two sides as they're trying to weigh their options. Bayelsa have been the best attacking threat so far in the game, while Rivers, with Mary Moses, haven't been able to do as much except that beautiful ball that came off the lower part of the crossbar.
Definitely. The better team in terms of possession, in terms of going forward, has been Prosperity Girls, although questionable when it concerns their final third. But I think right now they've kind of reduced the questions that fans and even the coaching bench will be asking them, because they've gotten themselves the lead in this game. But Rivers Angels would look to continue to push in this game, saying that they themselves have come close also to getting a goal through Mary Moses after they conceded that first goal. And we know Mary Moses to be one to score goals, so hopefully more balls come her way and she can convert, because they look to be more clinical when it concerns the ball in the final third as compared to the team with more possession and of course even the lead in Bayelsa Queens.
It is 2 minutes now added. 2 minutes added to the 45, and Bayelsa cannot seem to hold their line. So it is Rivers with the ball in the 18-yard area. A strike this time from Ifoma. It is over the place, and oh my God, that is a goal that equalizes for Rivers Angels. But there are lots of goals that says that shouldn't stand. There is confusion in the air. The center referee seems to say something, and she says it is not a goal. She indicated it was a goal before, but we're looking at it again. The ball came off. Did that go in?
It didn't go in. It was on the line. And at first she signaled for it to be a goal, but I think she was called by her assistant referee right there, who mentioned that was a clearance on the line. And of course, the assistant, that's the center referee, has made amends, because I mean she can't have all her eyes everywhere, and that's why she has the help of the likes of the assistant referee. And of course we can see the goal again, or what looked to have been the equalizer. That looked to be a goal, but I mean it didn't go in on the line. And I mean that assistant referee, a very good call right there to ensure that that was not unjustly given as the equalizing goal for Rivers United. Rivers United will have to fight their way to get a proper goal. Rivers Angels, yeah. I beg your pardon, will have to fight their way to getting a proper goal this time around. But they came close again, and that is them. Also, like I said, they are more of the clinical side as compared to the team who is currently leading. Because whenever they have the ball in the final third, they want to make more use of it as compared to the Prosperity Girls.
Well, timely clearance from Captain Blessing Abiola for Bayelsa. That was right on the line, just as said by Joy. It is exactly what the storyline says, as the Queens from Bayelsa are leading the Angels from Rivers. Two teams who pride themselves in this very competition. Mind you, these two sides have represented the country on the continent. Rivers were one of the worst teams so far to represent us after losing out in the group stage, while Bayelsa went on to claim bronze in the CAF Women's Champions League But here we go again. It is Bayelsa with the ball, but it is Precious Oscar who couldn't catch up with it. Talking about the continent, Bayelsa are our best team after winning bronze in the CAF Women's Champions League. But that is all that we can take in the first 45 minutes. A game that has seen the two sides battle for prestige, for pride, and even for titles. But here we are, a beautiful goal in the 35th minute, courtesy of Olabi Alaba. Of course, we'll put Bayelsa ahead. A beautiful strike it was, getting past Amaka, and a right-footed strike into the 18-yard area, and that will be the goal in the first 45 minutes. Great goal it was, and exactly what the Prosperity girls will need. White Wonder would usher his girls into the tunnel as they go into the tunnel, and Bayelsa leads 1-0 over River St. George, who thought they might have had an equalizer earlier on. Well, it has been a very fantastic first 45 minutes with, of course, Bayelsa Queens who are leading the entire sequence. We are going to be seeing the last game of the day where Edo Queens will be taking on host. But it's been a fantastic first half. It is Bayelsa who lead 1-0 against River St. George. What a fantastic game that we've witnessed in the first 45 minutes, Joy.
Yeah, a very fantastic one, a feisty one. One worthy of a derby of this magnitude, if you ask me. And yes, it is the goal by Olabi Alaba in the 34th minute that separate both sides. To see there, you can see some of the chances and, of course, some of the shots we had from the likes of Shakira Moshood, who I mentioned at the start of commentary is one of the players look out for Bayelsa Queens, saying that she is one who has been a regular name for the Flamingos, and of course got the best goal of the tournament at the World Cup in Dominican Republic in 2024. So yes, you can understand why they are a team to beat, but they are not playing against pushovers, as Rivers Angels came twice towards equalizer, and here you can see the first goal right there by Olabi Alaba right there. Just number 18 in the 34th minute. Beautiful strike right there, like Doka said, to go way past Amaka, guide that ball properly, and of course with a right-footed shot, found the ball at the back of the net, and of course finally beats the offside trap that Rivers Angels had been setting from the start of the game. And we saw what looked to have been maybe what come close to an equalizer in the first half also for Rivers Angels by the top goal scorer for Rivers Angels, Moses Miran. That's another clearance that prevented what should have been an equalizer for Rivers Angels right there. So it's a very fantastic game we saw, and one that will ensure that we expect more of brilliance for both teams in the second half.
Well, it is Bayelsa, like we said, through Olabi Alaba, who leads Bayelsa 1-0 against Rivers Angels.
you guys have this?
This one, for this match, I mean, they brought it late, so we have it now. I bet they should try and bring the next one early, I beg.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've gotten our shirt.
What is your size is good?
So they are the same size, yeah? Medium.
Sorry, no small.
Because me are fat.
No small.
I'm fat part of my hair. Thank you. Well, we're back for the second half here in the Remo Star Stadium in Ikenne, as Bayelsa Queens are currently taking on Rivers Angels. Bayelsa Queens leading 1-0, and this is how Bayelsa will line up on Monday Money. Obonaya, Ann Blessa, Obiola Blessing, Aderemi, Mary, Alexander Florence, Jennifer Oliver, Moshe Shukurat, Omokwa Messi, Olabi Alaba, Olapade Zainaban, Oscar Precious. These are the players for Bayelsa. And for Rivers, they have Adeline Mbichi, Sarah, Sandra John, Paulinus Ifoma, Edward Beauty, Michael Joy, and Ifoma, as well as Aweda Titilayo, Taiwan Fulabi, Ofo Mary, Otopo Patience, and Abibata Abdullah there. So that's how the Rivers will line up against each other. It is a 34-minute strike from, of course, Alaba Labi, who ensured that Bayelsa will go into the tunnel with a goal nil. We're looking at the match officials now, and we have Yusuf Bemisola, who is the center referee for the day, Yemi Bemisola. Joy, what are we expecting in the second half?
Of course, we're expecting a fight to finish from both teams because this is far from over. We've seen it from the first goal that a lone goal is too risky to be comfortable with, and so I'm expecting a fight. And we've seen a fight from both teams even before we got the first goal, so yeah, I expect that to continue. Seeing Rivers Angels come close to a leveler in the first half, and I expect them to continue fighting in the second half also. So yeah, expecting a cracker in the second 45.
Well, the second 45 is underway, with Bayelsa leading about a goal 2-0. Courtesy of Olabi. Olabi is a strike earlier on in the first half. Quick start from the Queens from Bayelsa as Messi Omokwo has been brought down in the area. The two sides do know themselves, so with their familiar foes in a familiar territory. Chisom will be coming in to see what she can do to try to help Rivers up against the Bayelsa side. But Abibat in the regular season was actually a turn on the flesh of the opposition's defense. But today, Bayelsa seemed to be a very tough nut to crack for her.
Yeah, a tough nut for this team to actually crack. And yeah, we can expect that that might actually be what would maybe be what will determine what we see at the end of 90 minutes today. But I mean, I'm expecting something better than what I saw in the first half, because I mean, everything is at stake right now for both teams. Bayelsa still looking to get a win and of course maintain their invincible run. I mean, they want to finish what they started in the regular season, invincible in the regular season, and maybe go invincible in the...
It is Rivers Angels who have looked like they wanted a penalty in that situation, but the referee is having a conversation with our assistant, and that will be just a free kick outside the area. It was Oliver, or you say Precious Oscar, who brought down Rivers United player in the box, but the referee had said it's going to be a free kick. It is the substitute Taiwo Ajibade who came in earlier on to help Bayelsa with rather Rivers with their attack. She's been brought down. Well, this is Tosan Blankson, the coach of Rivers Angels. Is always very animated on the touchline. Every single time you see him, he's prancing and pacing on the touchline. And we're looking at Coach White Obunda, the head coach of Bayelsa Queens at this moment. With Bayelsa still leading by a goal to nil. Well, the referees seem to have decided something.
And yes, that decision is what's left to be seen right now, because I mean, she had had a lengthy conversation with her assistant right there. Why she looked initially to be pointing for a penalty, I think the assistant's having a different auction. But yeah, it's a penalty, and she has a final say. So yes, on Bemisola's Yusuf's mandate, we all shall stand right now.
It is a penalty out here at the Rebel Star Stadium in Ikene, and it is in favor of Rivers Angels. It is Ifoma Ikenokwala who is stepping up to take that penalty. Monleo Muni, the goalkeeper for Bayelsa, is standing firm. Ifoma sizing up the pace, sizing up the space in between her and the ball, And of course, the goalkeeper. Will she score this? This question will be answered in the next couple of seconds as she is winner of the options. Ifeoma takes it, and Omonle would save that. What a way to ensure that your team remains ahead. Ifeoma should have done better with how she struck the ball. Maybe she did, but it is Money who ensured that her left foot, which she kept back, would stop that one from going in, and it has one reverse a corner kick. But what a stopper that was!
What a save!
Omoni.
What a save! And we've seen in this week in football that goalkeepers are the ones to win you games in very tightly contested games, and this is one of those games that might be one of those games we'll see where a goalkeeper win you a game. And Molly was solid right there, and you can call her maybe a spider with the way she spread her wings, her legs also being the stopper right there. And Bayelsa Queens can heave a sigh of relief, and I'm sure that Coach White will be really pleased with her display right there. And you can see the shout of despair from Ifeoma right there after missing that particular that spot kick. That is another chance wasted for Rivers Angels, or another chance begging for them to actually tie this game, and of course they've not been able to capitalize. This is the sweetest, or will I say the closest chance they'll get to getting an equalizer in the game. But yeah, so far that has gone wasted, and I mean this is one that will definitely want to come haunt them if they go on to lose this game, saying that they had a chance from 6 yards out to actually stop Rivers or Bayelsa Queens from getting maximum points. But as it stands, it's still Bayelsa Queens that lead this game by a lone goal. And I mean, like I said, I expect better in the second half. And so far, so good. We've seen a penalty call, we've seen a beautiful save, and now we're seeing a reinforcement for Bayelsa Queens.
Right now, we're seeing changes for Bayelsa Queens as Ifeanyi Kindness to be coming in place for Precious Oscar, who I think have been fantastic. She did, yes, commit that offside, but Oscar Precious has been substituted, and Kindness Ifeoma, I like her so much. Kindness Ifeoma, she is quite precise. The first half of the season when I watched her, she did play for, I think, Ibomenjos before she went to Bayelsa, if I'm not exactly wrong. But here she is, coming in a game that Bayelsa are leading by a goal to nil. Rivers, they've had 3 good chances to put themselves at least in this game, but the first came off the crossbar.
Well, you say the others were unfortunate,
yeah,
because
so.
I mean they lacked luck in the 2 chances, but this is one that they will blame themselves for missing out on this particular one, because this was in your hands. And I mean, one of their finest set piece taker was handed the responsibility, and I mean she fell short of that one. But like I said, they are not a pushover team, and that's why this is a proper derby, because it's a derby of 2 teams with 12 titles between them. And Rivers Angels will continue to keep knocking. I mean, after Bayelsa scored their goal, we've rarely seen them go forward or try to test Ngbechi in her own 6-yard box, and more of the questions have been asked by the pride or the jewel of Rivers. So yes, you understand that it's still a lot to play for. We still have ample time to decide this game at the end of 90 minutes. So yes, with just 54 minutes played, we still have a lot to play for. The 2 teams still have a lot to play for, and there's still so much to fight for in this particular game on match day 1.
Still a lot to fight for, with the 2 sides fighting so hard to see who is going to be superior over the other. Bayelsa Queens took the lead in the first 45 through Olabi Alaba to ensure that her team would be in front. Earlier, Joy, I talked about how it ended 1-0 in favor of Bayelsa in Yanogwa against the same team in Rivers. They scored that goal early, I think it was in the 3rd minute, and they locked shop, and it eventually ended 1-0. Would that be a repeat of what we'll see here today?
Well, I want to actually agree with you with that, because I mean, we've mentioned in the first half that they are the team to have conceded the least amount of goals in the regular season. They finished invincible. They didn't lose any game. But like I said, so far so good. The scoring chances have been for Rivers Angels, who have been asking so many questions, including that chance that we saw that was saved by Monli Omoni. So yes,
But Bayelsa would leave their lines really open. Flores Alexander just couldn't get there, as it will be the number 17, Chisom Wachuku, who just came in. That would have maybe gotten herself on the score sheet, but then she didn't connect really well with the ball, and that would have been a chance for the Angels of Rivers to put themselves in the game again. We're talking about
which
chances.
will corroborate my chance of saying that they've been getting the chances. So I don't think Bayelsa Queens, even if they'll get to win this game, will actually keep a clean sheet in this game, because they've not been as solid defensive as they usually used to be. I mean, why would you concede a penalty? Why would you allow so much space like that for Chisom in the last encounter that we saw? So yes, I understand that. Yes, they might have defeated Rivers Angels, but Rivers Angels would have learnt their lessons, or have learnt their lessons. So this time around, they are looking to actually ensure that they actually get a goal in this game, because I mean, you have to get a goal before you even think of maybe winning in this encounter, because they're trailing so far so good, and it's not been working well for them. But I mean, game on, and before you know it, a goal can go in and change the entirety of proceedings we've seen in the last 15 minutes of the second half.
Well, the trajectory of this game is in favor of Bayelsa Queens, as they still lead. We still have plenty more minutes to play. Rivers have had plethora of chances gone begging, and I can imagine the frustration from or on the face of Tosin Blankson.
Not just on his face, from his movements, as is someone you mentioned to be someone who's always animated on the touchline. And of course, we have seen how he has paced in the last 20 minutes. And I'm surprised that we're yet to see the camera actually show him after that particular miss from before there, because I'm sure that he would be raging, because that was a chance begging to be scored. But you cannot take anything away from Monli Omoni, who actually got a very beautiful save right there to ensure to keep our side in the lead in this game.
Well, it is still Bayelsa now with the ball. Substitute pressure, Kindness, if I had the ball earlier. But Kindness will send the ball in, and a floating ball, in which he handled the ball just outside our area. But then the referee would call that as the referee. A referee has to be clear with her calls if she's giving a free kick in favor of Mbechi, or she's giving a handball outside the area. Because if she does handle the ball, what does that mean? Does that mean like a yellow or a red card for her because you're handling the ball outside your box?
Well, that's a red card.
She
did handle the ball outside the box. But fortunately for her, I'm not seeing any of the assistant referee very close to that area to have determined, because she was far at the other side of her goalpost, as against, I mean, she was backing the center, the assistant referee that is at the side of the field. So yes, lucky Mbechi there, and unfortunately for Bayelsa Queens, because that would have ensured that they are playing 11 against 10 women in this game. So yeah, but they are still leading, so maybe that would not really bother them. They want to see this one out 11 against 11, because 11 against 11, they've scored a goal, they've stopped a penalty, and of course they are still invincible. So far so good.
Still invincible, still the team to have considered the least goals, and still the team leading here in Ikene. Bayelsa Queens are looking pipe ready to try to win this all over again. There is a chance that if you win this tournament and you win the WAFU B qualifiers, you win the CAF Women's Champions League, then you're on to the FIFA Club World Cup. So there are lots of incentives here for these leaders.
Lots of incentives. I mean, but the dream starts in Ikene right here.
Absolutely.
Or I would say, yeah, it starts in Ikene. It starts from everyone who has qualified for the Super 6, because this is where your dream starts. I mean, from Ikene to the WAFU B, and WAFU to say you win, qualify, like Bayelsa Queen did in 2022-2023, like Edo Queens did in 2023-2024. Anyone who wins the Nwfl goes on to qualify for the Champions League. Will have a shot at winning.
Well, there are a couple of changes and movements in and around. Olakpade Zainab is being taken out, and Cynthia Mega will be coming in as well. A couple of quality changes in and around the Bayelsa side. Changes and changes. Mega will try to push the attack as well for Bayelsa, who are already leading by a goal to nil. We talked about the squad depth that this side have by also Queens, and we're seeing it here against Rivers. Replacements after replacements, and the replacements are quite quality as well. We've seen that, and it keeps coming in.
Keep coming in. I mean, their side prosperous when it concerns talent.
I see what you did there.
As prosperity girls that they are, in case you didn't see what I did, if you're watching us from home. So yes, that is one thing that Coach White has going for him. He has a pally of girls to throw into the party.
Well, Bayelsa did think that they had a chance earlier. I think Moshood has been taken out earlier because I can no longer. But then again, there's a chance here. Omokwo Messi just wasn't on the right shape to run ahead to get that ball in. But this is Adeline Imbechi who would come out to
Moshood is still on the pitch.
She's on the pitch.
Yes, just the camera just showed her on the pitch. Maybe has not been as maybe not as effective as she's been in the first half. And of course, probably seeing that Bayelsa are trying to play their football from another part of the wings, not hers. But with her still being on the field, still means threats from her angle, because whenever she has the ball, we know what she can do with the ball. Probably one with, I would say, the most dangerous shots in the Super 6, or the most deadliest shots in the Super 6, based on what we've seen in the regular season, and of course seen her over the years, and even at the World Cup with the Flamingos in Dominican Republic. Like I mentioned, if you're just joining us, Shakirat Moshood won the goal of the tournament at the Under-17 in Dominican Republic with her beautiful outside the box strike that got her that particular one. And she has tried some of those strikes, though most of them have been off target. We're expecting to see if she would be one of those who would get the goals for Bayelsa, because they are not a low-scoring side by every standard, if you ask me. From the regular season, I've seen them win brilliantly with very healthy margins, 4-0 wins, 3-0 wins. Now, when they are in their books, where they are in their strides, they tend to go all gun blazing and get the goals. But yes, you say that this is them playing against a Rivers United side.
Nwfl will receive the ball now to Bayelsa. Bayelsa are still on the attack now with Kindness Ifeanyi. Who got the delivery, has the ball now. Kindness trying to get past Ifeoma Paulinus, who would intercept that. Messi Omokwo would let that go out for a throw-in.
I'm surprised Messi is still on the pitch, seeing that she struggled with fitness issues in the first half. But I mean, for her to still be on the pitch, it shows that she has a lot to give, and I mean, her coach is trusting her to be one of those who would prosecute this game to a win for them in Ikene here.
Oh, here we go, a goal kick for Rivers Angels. Well, a fun fact for you, I must tell, Bayelsa Queens goalkeeper Omonle Moni has now saved 2 penalties against Rivers Angels this season, I must add. One was during the regular season at the Dokia Mismaka Stadium in Port Harcourt, and now in the Super 6 here in Ogun State. That is like she knows how to save penalties against this very team, Rivers.
Oh, well, they might be the drill of Rivers, but that's none of our business, as she is definitely the jewel of this team. Talking about the Prosperity Girls today, with that penalty save, would I have maybe won this team this game, because I mean, maximum point is what they will fight for at first before they look at the goals, and when the goals are not coming, you have to call on your your shot stopper to prosecute penalties in that fashion. And it was not a penalty. It didn't look like a lucky penalty save. It looked like something that she actually understood. And I mean, from a very good shot taker in Ifeoma, you understand that was a beautiful penalty save from Molly or Money. I mean, we saw, likeness of names with Nollywood actresses. We saw Shola Shobowale for Nasra Amazons putting a good shift, and now we are seeing Molly or Molly, similar names with Omoni, Oboli or Mole for Nollywood, also putting in a very beautiful shift for Bayelsa Queens right here with a penalty save to ensure that her side still retain their lead that they got in the first half in the 34th minute.
Bayelsa has the ball now on the left flank and delivery into the area, finds no black and yellow shirts. I'll make that navy blue and yellow shirts. This time it is Messi Omoko who has the ball. She still has it, delivers it into the area, finds her teammates number 20, but then the ball came off the body of Rivers defense. What a way Cynthia Mega wants to show herself in the game. Beautiful one that was, but defensively astute. Drills of Rivers would clear their lines. It has been a coordinated arrangement for Bayelsa Queens. The way they attack, the way they spread out the ball, they have an idea of what they want to do.
They know what to do with the ball, and I think that's what has been working for them, and that has reduced the pressure that they've had to soak in from Rivers Angels. And maybe we might see another goal from them with the way they've been prosecuting the game so far in the last 10 minutes.
Well, Bayelsa now with Shakirat Moshud. She hands the ball, had to get past players, delivering in that area, but then the cross was just too heavy and couldn't find Kindness Ifeanyi. Kindness Ifeanyi is a player that you would say she is really good on the ball. She knows how to score goals when she gets the chance. But if you don't give her the proper deliveries, she wouldn't get you those goals.
We are hoping for fate to be kind to her, shots or passes to be kind to her also. Ifeanyi coming in right there in the second half to replace someone who had also put in a very solid shift this morning / afternoon, talking about Precious Oscar, who did a very solid shift today. We're looking forward to what the coach will have trusted her to bring into the party, talking about Ifeanyi Kindness. So yes, expecting that maybe she would be influential in them getting another goal.
Bayelsa are on the wave again with Messi Omokwo, who has been dispossessed by Ifeoma Ikenokwalo.
Well, if she can score, she can stop them from going forward.
Well, that's her trademark. She is an astute defender. Whenever she is called upon, she delivers for Rivers. Here they are trailing by a goal to nil. And on the clock is 68 minutes. Can they get themselves back in the game? The pride of Rivers, while the Rivers United team is called the pride of Rivers. There is history, like I said, behind this very fixture. And of course, a thing of pride, because you don't want to lose to your closest neighbors, to your biggest rivals in the Super 6. Because you have to ensure you get the job done. And Bayelsa Queens still with the ball. Messi Omokwo now with it, delivers it to Kindness to Ifeanyi, but then she wouldn't get to it as Ifeoma Ikenokwalo would get it, in which he hooks the ball into the area. Messi Omokwo will collect, and the ball came off Sandra Joy, and that will be a throw-in for Bayelsa. She's absolutely struggling there, and like I said, I'm still surprised that she's still on the pitch. And I mean, what a player she has to be for Coach Ogbundo White, for him to risk keeping her, and of course keeping her in this game despite that shaft that she has had to play with from the very first minute of the game. Or she started the game with it actually, and of course had a lot of medical attention to this game. So yeah, you understand that he maybe can't afford to have her not play the number of minutes she has played so far, and somehow Mbechi has somehow prevented herself from facing a shot from Shakira Tumashud right there, because pounces in front of her in that position.
we're very, very sure of what we might have seen if that pounced right there in front of Shakira Moshood.
Well, the ball is in the air, and the Rivers now has it. I haven't seen much from Mary Moses because the defense have kept her at bay for Rivers. I don't think she will be getting on the score sheet today, or do you think so?
Well, I can't rule her out. She's one of those players that you can never rule out. Someone like the player who equaled her goal scoring record this morning, talking about Janet for Nasser Amazons. But while what I mentioned in the first game is what we are seeing in the second game, we've seen teams that have built around a single player in terms of getting the goals tend to struggle when that player is not getting efficient balls in the box, and that is why a team like Bayelsa Queens are performing better because their goals are spread across the entire team. And yes, the highest goal scorer currently has 6 goals right now, with one that she scored today, talking about Alaba Olabi. But you can rightfully agree with me that the goals have been spread across. I mentioned that they score healthy amounts of goals when they face opponents in the regular season, but you can never see anyone. We've not seen anyone that's gone past now 6 goals for that team. So it shows that they are playing as a team where everyone and anyone can get a goal for this team. Anyone can come in and score goals for Coach Obunda, and that is what is working for them. So for Rivers Angels, Coach Blackson will have to find something else that would work, because I mean, Mary Moses has been isolated so far in the second half.
If isolated was the person, it has to be for Mary Moses today against Bayelsa Queens. She's been nowhere to be found. If you are just joining our live broadcast, if you're watching on YouTube through the NWFL YouTube channel or watching us on Start Times, this is the second game of Matchday 1 of the Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership Super 6 out here at the Remo Stars Stadium in Ikenne, Ogun State. It's been, of course, the first game seeing former champions, former 2-time champions in Nasarawa Amazons, who won the title in 2013 and 2017, beating Nigeria who are only making their second appearance in the Super 6. 2-1, the first game ended. And here we are in the second game with Bayelsa leading Rivers by 1-0, courtesy of a 34th minute strike from Alaba Olabi. It's been a game of chances. It's been a game of not taking what you have to get what you want. But the penalties that we've seen and the chances we've seen, of course, gone begging, especially for Rivers Angels.
Rivers Angels with more of the chances, or more of the goal-bound chances. But, I mean, the story on the scoreboard is a different thing altogether, as Bayelsa have been the one who have taken the one that they have and made use of what they have to get what they want. And so far, so good. Rivers Angels would want to do better if they want to get anything in this game.
Well, a corner kick now, and Captain Blessing Abiola will deliver the cross into the area, but finds the header of Rivers Angels. And a strike just outside the area from this time.
Yeah, Mary Adeyemi.
That
particular strike there.
We'll see Adeline Ibichi cleared that one out. Chances again. Maybe not clear courts for Bayelsa Queens, but they have used the chance that they had earlier on, and they are leading the game. But right about now, as we speak, it is number 14 in Patience Otobo coming off for Larishaw, who also knows how to get goals for her team. For Larishaw was pretty much massive for Rivers Angels in the regular season whenever she came on. That is Aminat for Larishaw. She's an integral part of this team, even though she comes off the bench half of the time. But when she's in, and she delivers. All this time across into the area, finding the header of Mary Moses. Mary Moses wanted to strike it, but then she didn't connect properly with that ball. As Bayelsa relinquished the ball to Rivers. Rivers have it. Another turnover to Bayelsa. Otobo Patience comes in, goes out for Larishaw. Aminat or Ajoke, whichever you prefer, but she goes by Aminat for Larishaw. We're looking at that. The referee has called for an infringement on Taiwa Fulabi for Bayelsa Queen. So that is going to be a free kick for Rivers.
Free kick for Rivers, a very dangerous tackle right there. And of course, that would earn her a yellow card for jersey number 17. Yeah, that's Shakira Moshood with that particular tackle right there. And let's see if once again.
But a cross into the area, but a header this time from Mary Moses just wasn't good enough. She didn't connect properly with that ball, and that will mean that Rivers will continue to keep trying to see if they can also get themselves on the score sheet. Oh, what a chance this time, but it still wasn't good enough. Earlier on, it is, of course, Shakira Moshood who, of course, get herself yellow carded, pat the center referee for that tackle on Taiwa Fulabi. Another time.
Well, you mentioned the two names. They are under 17 royalty.
Yeah.
Taiwa Fulabi captained the under 17 side twice at the FIFA World Cup, and of course one in India Gar, where they won bronze under coach Bankole Okere. And I mean, Moshood now, who is one who has missed most of her season with Bayelsa Queens because she is now an integral part of that under 17 team. So yes, royalty from the from both ends, and of course you understand that why both teams are maybe some of the biggest teams to have in the Super 6 in Ikene right here.
Well, the sun has risen quite high, and like I said, fans are starting to come into the area, but Bayelsa Queens will have the ball, or rather Rivers Angels. Bayelsa are trying to defend this with their lives because we know how good defensively Coach White Wonders team can be. They've held their own. They've been resolute defensively and rock solid half of the time, but Rivers haven't been able to take their chances when they could, with a penalty earlier missed by Ifoma Ikenokwalo. I'm sure the fans of Rivers will be asking, where is Ifoma Paulinus to have taken that? Because they would say she's the most clinical when it comes to the set pieces dead ball situation. She's your specialist. Well, here we go again. Taiwa Fulabi in the middle, gets past the defender. A strike this time, but wouldn't trouble the goalkeeper. She, of course, parried that ball in or out and was leaning back into the goalpost, and she would collect. You can see Florence Alexander telling her, you calm down, we don't have to let things go. But what a strike that was from Taiwa Fulabi.
A strike it was, but not just a strike, but the way in which she had carried the ball right from the center circle up to that place. And then the strike, yes, a very beautiful one, and you can expect more of this from Taiwa Fulabi. Like we mentioned some minutes ago, we mentioned the royalties of the under 17 side, the national team, the Flamingos, in Shakirat Moshood. You also have to remember that Taiwa Fulabi is also very deadly with such balls outside the box, and that's one of the glimpses that we are going to see today from her. So yes, maybe this is what the battle of these two teams was supposed to be like if they had both gotten the chance to play the ball on the floor. Because yes, I'm yet to clearly see who has had more possession in the second half. Although we have a team leading right now, and well, we can see from the instructions, or seeing from the mouth of Coach Blackson trying to whisper instructions to his girls as everyone takes a water break right now, as there is a medical emergency on the pitch, and he's still giving instructions as his team chase this game with a lone goal that was scored by Bayelsa Queens in the first half. And while the player has been taken off for medical attention for Bayelsa Queens, we are seeing maybe finally I was saying finally we'll get to see Omokwa eventually leave, because this time she had to be stretched out on the pitch, but she stood up once she got to the touch line and maybe want to actually warm up to go back into that pitch. What a fighter Omokwa is.
What a fighter she is. Even with injuries, she's been fighting for her team, Bayelsa Queens. who lead here in Ikene. But then a very poor clearance in the area. It is Rivers who would get a chance, but there's Money who cleared that one at the dead. That would have been the equalizer here in Ikene. But what a clearance that was. Last minute clearance it was for the goalkeeper, and Bayelsa would have ruled the clearances that they've made the entire time.
They would actually have to bite their fingers at the end of this game if they do not get anything from this game. And of course, Coach White Bunda would be on his feet clapping at the output or the performance of Money in this game. Like I mentioned before that particular penalty, that she might be called upon to win this game, because it looks like this is the week in which goalkeepers win you games, and so far so good. She has put on a very fine performance, and for me so far looks like the player of this game so far, with the clearances, with the penalty save. Remember that there was also a clearance at in the first half on the other side of when she was on the other side of the pitch. Yes, very timely save from that or clearance from that defender, but she also put in a very good body on the ball to ensure that that was not a goal. And yes, so far so good. Rivers Angels are unable to put any goal or any ball past her in this game. And yeah, solid shift from her. And you can see the display at the touchline from Coach Blackson. And finally,
it is Messi Amokwo who is being taken off, and of course Chiamaka would come in. Chiamaka Eziogu who will come in to replace Messi, who I thought should have been let go earlier on because of the injury. She's been struggling with the entire 45. I think that's 80 minutes of her time on the field of play for the Prosperity Girls, who still lead this tie, by the way, by a goal to nil. A 34th minute strike from Alaba Olabi, but this time a cross, or you say a throw-in. A throw-in that came in will get straight into the arms of Adeline Mbichi. Mbichi will send that one in, and Rivers Angels have the ball now in their own half, trying to encroach into the Bayelsa's half. Ball switched to the right-hand side, but just too heavy. And Sandra John couldn't keep up with that very one. Sandra John is integral to this team when it comes to their right back position. And today, she seemed to be very, very keen to ensure that Rivers will try to get something out of this very game.
Yeah, they have about 7 minutes of regular time to get something, and then we get to see how many minutes at a time would ensure that they get something out of this game, and of course avoid another defeat this season by the Prosperity Girls. And they are on the front foot right now with Taiwa Folabi.
Taiwa Folabi would relinquish that ball this time, and it's been hit out for a throw-in. Oh wow, she stole, isn't she?
I wouldn't say age is just a number, but height is just a thing.
How you think?
Height is just a
go
thing.
on the North Africans. How they do that?
Well, that's for goalkeepers, but for a player that is an outfield player, I don't think, especially a midfielder, who is called upon to actually detect the play in the midfield and of course take very audacious shot like she did some minutes ago. Maybe her height might not be her strongest point there, but it might not matter, because I mean she's playing for one of the biggest teams in the country, so she has shown that her height is she's at a high disadvantage, but she's advantage in every other thing that she can bring to the team.
Oh, that's clash of heads, and so they have to take out time to attend to
her, because it's very important in football whenever there's a potential head injury to avoid things like concussion for any player.
Coach Tosan Blankson is very calm, at least from the pictures we've got in the last couple of minutes we've seen him. Usually you get to see him all over the place, but yes, like we talked about, the fans are tripping in, they are starting to come in. The next game by 4, we'll see the host team playing against the reigning champions in Edo Queens. who would try to, who I would say are the targets. They have a target on their backs these days.
Yeah, a target to retain the title.
Absolutely.
Becoming the only team after Rivers Angels to do that. And let's see
and that
what
was
they
what,
have.
4 seasons ago.
Definitely.
4 seasons ago. We've had 4 different winners in the last 4 seasons.
Shows you how competitive this competition or this league is.
Oh, what a strike that was. It was from the free kick. This time it was taken by Ifoma Paulinus, but it was Molo Omoni who ensured that she parried that one out, and Rivers will start again from the throw-in. Rivers still has the ball. A delivery into the area, but then it came off the body of a defender. Some would say maybe even handball, but the referee saw that really well. It is Kindness Ifeanyi who has the ball now for Bayelsa. She's leading the attack now, but has been dispossessed by it. Oh, referee gave that as a foul.
Yeah, you can see that she had been able to beat her markers easily in that particular position, and that ensured that they had to draw a foul in that place. And got a kind call from the referee for our efforts there.
Well, the free kick now. We're looking at that strike this time out. Does that look like a handball to you?
It's like a handball, but unfortunately we don't have the video assistant referee in this competition, and some of these calls, close one you ask me, might go overlooked in that particular position.
Well, whichever way that is, it was a beautiful strike from Chiamaka Iziogo, who ensured that the ball came off Bayelsa's body. But Bayelsa now are still in the half of Rivers Angels, who are trying to clear their lines because this attack looks really dangerous. A delivery now, trying to find
Shakirat
Mashoud. She's still with the ball. Shakirat Mashoud would lose the ball, and it's a corner kick in favor of Bayelsa. She's been rather kept quiet, but then when she has the ball, we could see her presence. We could see the idea of what she wants to do, and when she had it, she got past the defender and the Michael Joy, and then that's a corner kick.
Well, Michael Joy has all out there to plead her case, and
a corner taken this time by Mashoud Shakirat. A header came off the body of the reverse defender, and still Bayelsa has it. But then
it amounts to nothing. Amounts to nothing there. I'm sure that the idea on her head was to cross the ball back into play in the 18-yard box, but her legs decided to do something else, and that would be for Rivers Angels to gather and of course start to build for a goal again as they're still chasing this game with 2 minutes left to play in regulation time.
Well, 2 minutes and some seconds. You could say even the additional minutes to be added. We are getting there. But this time, Kindness Ifeanyi has been adjudged to be offside by Yemi Gbemisola, the center referee, for Matchday 1 in the second match between Rivers, or you make that Bayelsa Queens versus Rivers Angels. Rivers Angels now. Taiwo Afolabi had it, but then the ball will be sent out in. It is still the goal scorer now who has the ball as it is. But then she's properly marked by the Rivers defense. Ball sent into the half of the area. A strike this time, but then it's just too wayward and wouldn't cause Adeline Ngbechi any trouble, as she would restart play from the goalkeeping position. Sends it over to Bayelsa. Back again to Adeline Ngbechi, who will start. A player is on the ground, that is Kindness Ifeanyi, and the referee has called to go check on her. Well, she's just coming in, so we don't know if this is serious or not. We'll wait to see what the referee would say about that. Okay, it's not Kindness. It is not Kindness. She seems to be struggling with whatever knock she has picked, and she's been stretchered off by the medics right about now. The referee would look to restart play again with the goalkeeping from Adeline Ngmechi. Ngmechi hits a heavy one. Rivers has the ball now. Poor connection, poor communication. They do not have time. It's almost 90 seconds. 30, make that 30 seconds, 20 seconds to the 90. And Rivers still trail Bayelsa by a goal to nil.
I mean, trailing by a goal to nil, and of course, you expect that they communicate better, seeing that some of their communication has led to potential goal scoring chances. And now with 3 minutes added, they have just 3 minutes to be able to actually get themselves something in this game, and maybe if they can get something early in the 3 minutes added, maybe they can push for a win. But so far so good. Bayelsa Queens, despite being just 10 ladies on the pitch, are still determining what the scoreline will be and where the maximum points will be heading to the way of the Yenogwa Babes.
Well, Bayelsa has the ball now with Chiamaka Eziogo, who sends a delivery into the area, but her teammates didn't, communicate with her moves, and that they would relinquish that ball to Rivers, who will try to attack again. Will 3 minutes be enough for the Jewel of Rivers to try to get themselves back into the game? Maybe yes or not. But here they go, Rivers. Florence Alexander would send that one out as she's keeping her lines clean. Shakira Mushud with the ball now. She's been dispossessed. Rivers will continue, but straight into the arms of Monle Omoni, the goalkeeper for Bayelsa Queens. Mary Moses looking to see if she could snatch something out of this game. She has 10 goals, like we said. She is now behind 14-goal scorer, who is, of course, the leading goal scorer of the season in Bolaji Olamide, who has 14 goals, like I said before. And now, Akekere Mowe, Janet, who has 11 goals, who just scored her 11th goal today.
A 10th goal, actually.
A 10th goal, I mean to say. So
yeah,
she's not currently paired.
Yeah, at par with Mary Moses.
I can't wait to see an 11th goal. Probably that's why I'm
really
eager
maybe
to see
because
that.
we saw a person on 9 goals and Janet score her 10th goal. We were hoping to see Mary Moses score her 11th goal and like that. Like I said, goals are a commentator's delight, so blame us not.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, at least we have a goal in this encounter.
Kotse Olabi, who is the top goal scorer for Bayelsa Queens, by the way, with 6 goals. And not at par with those chasing the golden boots, but I mean enough to get her team maximum points, maybe, as we are in the final seconds of added time in this game, and of course enough to get
the final 30 seconds to see us if Bayelsa will be going home with the same, but a delivery into the area just too heavy. And Rivers are on the verge of losing their first game in the Super 6. They trail Bayelsa by a goal to nil. The goal was first scored in the first half, in the 34th minute precisely. Olabi ensuring that she puts her team ahead. Rivers had chances, pictorial chances to put themselves back in the game, but that did not. We have seen Monle Omoni yellow carded by Yemi Gbamisola for time wasting. Oh, it's almost time. It's already past time. It's time for the referee to do her thing, but she's giving a couple of minutes to get to say, or seconds you would say, to see if there is going to be anything. A throw in now, or a free kick now for Rivers. Delivered in. Rivers with the ball. Sandra John relinquishes it to Bayelsa, and that is the final whistle today, as Bayelsa Queens will once again win over their arch rivals, Rivers Angels, here in Ikenne. It is going to be the first loss for Tosan Blanksen's side out here in the Super 6. Bayelsa are looking really, really good. We did ask the question if, of course, going unbeaten in the regular season will give them the momentum coming into the Super 6, and that might have just been it, as Olabi's first half strike in the 34th minute will ensure that Bayelsa Queens will go into the tunnel with that 1-0 victory over Rivers Angels.
Yeah, definitely. That was what was needed in this game to get maximum points for the coach White Ogonda's led side, that 34th minute strike. And we looked at both teams, seeing that more of the chances got the way of Bayelsa, of Rivers Angels, but Bayelsa Queens making do with the only chance that they got.
Well, it is full time as Bayelsa Queens will lead Rivers United or Angels 1-0, courtesy of a 34th minute strike from Olabi Alaba, and that is how it will end out here at the Remo Stars Stadium in Ikene in match day 2 of the Super 6. Well, just looking at our screens, we are seeing the Sports Commissioner of Bayelsa State and also the President of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation in Dana Legali coming out here to support his girls.
Yeah.
And they did so well in front of him.
Of course, I mean, with what they have actually put in the regular season, we can see them coming in for their first game of the Super 6, and of course against arch rivals Rivers Angels. And this was what promised to be a very, very feisty, interesting game. And we can see saves already from the very first minute. Some of those chances, some of those shots that we were expecting in this game by Shkrat Moshood, though they amount to anything, but I mean, tested Ngechi in her own part of the net. We saw Rivers Angels with more of the goal scoring chances, and even in the first half, with some of this particular set pieces, and with Ifoma, who eventually will go on, and then this is a goal scoring chance that was converted by Olabi Alaba for her 6th goal of the season, and will prove to be the only goal of this encounter, the decider that will ensure that Coach Black's side will start on a very good note here in Ikene, as they are looking for their first win when it concerns their first win in about 4 seasons now. 3 seasons. They won the title just after Rivers Angels. And yes, Rivers Angels right there showing before halftime with a Mary Moses chance that was stopped by the goalpost, and I mean ended 1-0 in Rivers in favor of Bayelsa Queens at halftime. And yes, when we returned for the second 45, it was also Rivers Angels on the front foot again, and we saw them this time around a penalty that was saved there beautifully by Moni Omoni in the 49th minute of that encounter, or you said 50th minute of that encounter. That was a beautiful save there.
It was expertly done.
Expertly done right there, and you could see despair on the face of Ifoma.
We saw really plethora of chances, and once again, it was another chance that gone begging. This time it was from Mary Moses, who had a chance earlier on, but then she couldn't capitalize on it. So you would say substitute who came in earlier on in the game. That was a beautiful header that it would have been, but she couldn't capitalize it to ensure that they got themselves into the game. Couple of chances here and there, but Omoni ensured that she stopped the attack of Rivers Angels a couple of times. Another beautiful header this time from Mary Moses ensured that the team will continue to struggle. We got to see a yellow card for Chisom as well in that very encounter. And this was that point where we thought that the goalkeeper would let this go in. That beautiful strike from Taiwa Afolabi. But then the goalkeeper ensured that she kept that one out once again.
I mean, another stop at the touch line there, or at the line there, the goal line there, and of course you could see how popped money was, and ensured that at the end of the day, proceedings ended with that lone goal being the decider. Fulltime, Bayelsa Queens 1, Rivers Angels 0, and of course we'll return for the next game by 4 p.m. between Edo Queens and Remo. That's Remo Stars Ladies, the next game by 4 p.m. So join us that time, and of course enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Bye for now.